Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a wise old frog named Crocus. Crocus was no ordinary frog. He was known throughout the land for his knowledge and patience, qualities that made him the village's most trusted advisor. The villagers would often seek his wisdom on matters ranging from the weather to their personal lives. He had a reputation for always knowing the right thing to say, no matter how complicated the problem. One warm summer evening, as Crocus sat by the edge of a clear pond, a group of young frogs hopped to him with an eager question. "Wise Crocus," said one of the young frogs, "we've heard a strange tale, and we want to know if it's true. They say if a frog is placed in a pot of water that's gradually heated, it won't jump out, even as the water begins to boil. Is that really possible?" Crocus smiled gently, his large round eyes glinting with amusement. "Ah, I see," he said. "You've heard of the boiling frog tale." The young frogs nodded eagerly, their faces filled with curiosity. "Well," Crocus began, settling himself more comfortably on the smooth stone by the pond, "the story of the boiling frog is a powerful one, but it is more of a lesson than a fact." The young frogs leaned in closer, ready to hear the story. "It's said that if a frog is placed in a pot of water that is slowly heated, the frog, unaware of the danger, will not realize how hot the water is becoming. By the time it finally notices, the water will be boiling, and the frog will be unable to escape in time. The frog doesn't jump out because it adapts gradually to the heat, failing to notice the danger until it is too late." The frogs were horrified by the tale. But, but why wouldn't the frog just jump out when it first started feeling the heat?" asked one of the younger frogs. Crocus sighed deeply, his voice turning serious. "That, my young friends, is the lesson. Sometimes when change comes slowly, whether it's a shift in the environment, a dangerous situation, or even our own habits, we don't notice the danger until it's too late. We get used to the discomfort, and instead of acting, we adjust, thinking it's not that bad. Only when it's unbearable do we realize we've waited too long." The frogs looked at each other, deep in thought. "Does that mean we should always be jumping out of the pot, ready to escape anything that feels uncomfortable?" asked another young frog, his brow furrowed with concern. Crocus chuckled softly. "Not at all, my dear. Not everything that feels uncomfortable is harmful. Sometimes we must learn to endure the heat, to grow stronger through the challenges we face. But it is crucial to be aware, to keep our senses sharp. If you feel something is wrong, if the water starts to feel too warm, don't wait too long. Listen to your instincts and don't be afraid to leap when it matters." The young frogs sat quietly reflecting on the lesson. "And what if," one of them asked hesitantly, "we don't know when to leap? What if we're too slow to realize the danger?" Crocus paused, considering the question. "Then it is the job of those around you to help you. It's why we have each other, to guide and warn one another when the water starts to get too hot. Trust your friends. Trust the wisdom of those who care for you." The frogs nodded, understanding now that the boiling frog story was a metaphor for life. It wasn't about the frog, but about the need for awareness and the courage to make a change before it was too late. And so, Crocus continued to sit by the pond, teaching not just the young frogs, but anyone who sought his wisdom. For in his quiet, patient way, he reminded them that life, much like water, could change slowly and imperceptibly. But by staying alert and being willing to leap when necessary, they could avoid the dangers that crept in unnoticed. And so the village thrived. The frogs lived wisely, and Crocus' lesson about the boiling water lived on, passed down through generations.